Uh, Dear God, please let resumes die already. Please. This is so old technology. Why are we still doing this? I just don't understand. Has anybody taken a selection class? What do we know about resumes?
People lie.
People lie. What's their validity like?
0.
It's pitiful. In fact, it's less than 0. It's a negative correlation because people are biasing. If you get a resume coach, well then are you hiring me or are you hiring my resume coach? And does it predict my performance in the job or does it predict writing skills? They're terrible. And yet they are the currency of recruiting and job searching and career services. Here's how to write a resume. It's just, oh, I wish it would end. So this may be where LinkedIn.com, and there's a new one. The guy who started CareerBuilder.com, he sold that company. He started 2 other companies. One's called Resume Pal. He wants resumes to go away, and he would have this one profile. So from an applicant perspective, it's pretty enticing where you just have one resume on the web in one place, and it serves you in all applying situations, in all hiring events. That I like. And the thing with LinkedIn.com is it seems to me to be a little truer, a little more pure in your work history, because you put it up there and there are people that can link to you and they can write recommendations. And so let's say you had a really unglamorous job you worked at Ruby Falls and you wore the elf outfit or something like that, and you're kind of embarrassed about it. Well, somebody's going to say, hey, Ben was a great elf at Ruby Falls, and I really learned a lot from him. That's going to keep your work history true. You won't be able to say, well, I'll just conveniently leave Ruby Falls off of it. There's going to be this again, it's a glass house thing. I mean, we can't hide anymore. So that would be good if resumes would go away. Prediction number 6. I think when it comes to job boards, we're going to see more granularity. And what I mean by that is we start out with something big like Monster. And it is a monster. It's just a dump truck backing up and dumping applicants in your lap. Needle in a haystack to find a good applicant in this stuff. I mean, it's unfiltered. It's just, here's a lot of people who apply. So then you go down a level. There's a company called theladders.com. Is anybody familiar with The Ladders? They only place people in jobs that pay $100,000 a year or more. So they're targeting a very specific professional niche, not Monster. And you have to pay to be on this site. I think it's $30 a month. That's not cheap. But then if you're going to pay, so something to consider. And you can go even more granular. There's a company that I follow. I'm kind of a disciple of these guys. I didn't set out to be, but I'm really impressed with the stuff they do. And they've got a job board, and it only deals with web designers and kind of people in a very niche world, niche industry. So that I think you'll see more and more, where we're going to target just a specific kind of applicant so that we can separate the wheat from the chaff a little bit. I also prediction number 7, we'll see more consolidation, kind of the opposite of granularity. And what I mean by that is Monster, not everybody's, how many people in this room have an account on Monster? A couple. I think you'll have something that's even bigger, even more universal. Maybe Google will get into this realm. I think they will. I think it's just a matter of time, and I can talk about why later. But I could envision some company, maybe it's LinkedIn, maybe it's Google, that they sort of are the one place. They're the universal place for all applicants to go. And then, in addition to that, you've got the niche job boards as well. So that's kind of what I see happening in the future. More granularity on one hand, more consolidation on the other. What about assessments in hiring? What do you think will happen with that? some of you said you've taken a selection course, and you've probably talked about assessments. What's kind of you're closer to this than I am. What's the going thinking right now, or the current thought on assessments? What's the best predictor for performance in a job?
Simulation.
Job simulation?
It depends.
It depends.
What is cognitive ability?
Cognitive ability. Cognitive ability, the best predictor of jobs across all jobs.
Job performance, yeah.
For job performance. Now, I'd be curious to know, I've always heard that the reason assessments are used and the reason they're predictive, well, not the reason they're predictive, but the reason they're used is because we don't always have past performance to go by. And so, I don't know if that's true or not. I guess you could do a validity study if you had the right kind of past performance. There's this idea that the best predictor of future performance is past performance. That basically there's a pattern of success in your life, or the opposite of success, failure. There's either a pattern of failure in your life or a pattern of success. And what I mean by that is, and tell me if I'm wrong, a person doesn't wake up one morning and all of a sudden they're successful. There's a pattern. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
So, in most hiring situations, you don't know what the past is, so you have to use an assessment. But think about if you could Google me and see all kinds of examples of the work that I do. Like more than you've got time to look through, really. If you want to see if I have writing skills, you can read my blog. If you want to see if I'm comfortable speaking in front of a group, YouTube. If you want to see academic performance, maybe I've written a paper or submitted it, and you could look that up. So there's, again, glass houses and can't hide, and so if you have this pattern of success, the evidence will be there for everyone to see on the web. If you've got a pattern of struggles, a pattern of failure, then the cards are stacked against you. So assessments, I think assessments will continue to get better and better, hopefully, and get more and more refined as more data is gathered. But I think you're going to have that combined with some commonsensical kind of things, just looking up a person and seeing that pattern of success. That's in a way I think about academic performance, where you have A's starting in kindergarten and 6th grade and 11th grade, 12th grade, and all through college, and then someone's trying to decide what kind of student will you be in grad school, versus we've got some grades, but we also want to get an SAT, or I'm sorry, a GRE, or something like that, just to be sure. I kind of can see that happening in a hiring situation too. They've got a lot of past data on you, but they also want an assessment. What might be cool from a future standpoint is there may be a couple of assessments that emerge as the assessments. Again, if Google gets into this thing, then you may go, or LinkedIn or whomever, you go and you take a battery of assessments one time, and you don't have to take them for a bunch of employers. And employers who subscribe to that could tap into those assessment results. That would be an interesting one. Predictions number 8 and 9. There's a lot of money in all this stuff.